So in PTE, you will have 3 sections, all right? Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. So your PT is made up of 3 parts. Part 1, speaking and writing. Part 2 is your reading. Part 3 is your listening. Part 1, speaking and writing, comes together after 5 tasks of speaking. So the first 5, read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, answer short question. After these 5, you will have 2 writing tasks, right? Now in the speaking and writing, which is part 1, time management is automated, which means each task has its own allocated time. For part 2, time management is on you. They'll give you time for the entire section, and you'll have to manage all of these questions within that particular time. So for part 2, you have 5 tasks: reading and writing fill in the blanks, multiple choice single MCQs, reorder paragraph, multiple choice multiple MCQs, reorder paragraph, reading fill in the blanks, multiple choice single answers. All right. So 8 plus 5 is over here we have 8. Over here we have 7 plus 5, it's 12, and then we have 8 more in your part 3, which is altogether 20 tasks. So in PT there are 20 tasks. Each task can have different number of questions. So for example, if I click on read aloud, how many questions do I get from read aloud? Between 6 to 7. All right. And like this, each section you can see has different number of questions. So for example, when we go to the listening section, highlight correct summary has 2 to 3 questions. And as you progress through your lectures, you're going to find more out about this. Now, one important thing to understand. So we have these part 1, part 2, part 3, which is pretty similar to IELTS. But the main difference between PT and IELTS is that one is obviously it's computerized. Second thing is that in PT, one part can contribute marks to another part. So for example, we have part 1, which is speaking. So suppose this is a speaking task. We know read aloud is a speaking task. When we click on read aloud, you see that it is contributing marks to your reading as well. All right, like that, across PT, there are different tasks. For example, repeat sentence, again, your speaking task, but also contributing to your listening. Like that, if I go to writing, summarize written text, which we are going to cover today, it's a writing task, but it's also contributing marks to reading. Same thing, if I go to reading section, you have fill in the blanks reading and writing here, although it's part of your reading, but look, it's contributing marks to writing. And also in your listening, if I go to summarize spoken text, it's a listening task, but it is contributing marks to your writing as well. So like this, there are numerous tasks that contribute marks to different places, all right? And that's the main difference between PT and IELTS, despite being a computerized test. Okay, now, today we are covering 2 things and 2 important topics. One from your part 2, which is reorder paragraph. We'll cover this first, and then from your part 1, we're going to go through summarized written text, which we'll cover in the later part. All right. Now that was the briefing about PT. So those of you who are new should be able to understand from here on.